Hey everyone, Harry here with a few important developments in the other trial, or what's become the other trial, since Jack Smith and his team at the Department of Justice and the grand jury, of course, brought an indictment against Trump for the January 6th conduct. But back at Mar-a-Lago, a couple important things have happened in the last few days. First, recall that the Department of Justice did a superseding indictment, added a very serious conspiracy charge against Trump, and now two defendants, Carlos de Oliveira as well as Walt Nauta. And de Oliveira has pulled so far the same trick that Nauta did to eat up some time, or trick. Well, let me first just state the facts, and then you can decide for yourself if it's a trick. But now, twice, he's shown up and said, he has his regular lawyer already paid for by the Trump organization, Gibson. But you need to have a local lawyer when you are in Florida court. And he said, just can't find one. I'm really looking, but I just can't find one. And of course, until you have a lawyer, you can't be arraigned, and nothing, everything is sort of on ice. Now we saw now to do it and eat up a whole month. And so De Oliveira, playing from the same playbook, poses the prospect of delay, but B, gives an indication he's, as of now, very much on the team Trump, deploying the same strategy in the fold completely for now, which, as I've suggested when they first indicted him, is a crazy place for him to be, with all kinds of risk and exposure and not much upside, but that's where he is. Anyway, he was really there because his lawyer, the one from Washington, said, "Well, can we just do this on the 25th? When is the next hearing?" And the magistrate judge, not Judge Cannon, this was in front of a magistrate judge, said no. They had represented. There was a lawyer actually there from Florida saying, "I think I can do it, but we're just working out details. Should just be a day or two, Your Honor." And the magistrate said, "Okay, fine. You do this. We're going to set it for Tuesday next week. In a couple days, you show up and we'll arraign you." And the threat is, by the way, if he doesn't, same thing with Nauta, they'll appoint a public defender. You can't delay the court indefinitely on this sort of thing. So same trick. Now, maybe he can't really find one, but we're talking about a a state with tons of lawyers and a district within that state with tons and tons of lawyers, and it seems dubious. A local counsel really just sort of serves to file papers, is not the same kind of strategic choice as your main lawyer, and it seems that it's, at a minimum, an unhappy situation for Team Trump and Trump itself, when the first goal is just delaying, as much as you can, bits and pieces here and there. The weeks add up for De Oliveira to, come and say, "Oh, I just can't find a lawyer. I've been trying, Your Honor." So, A, there's the point about it and the little delay, but B, it's, De Oliveira, I think, is the lesson very much part of the Team Trump and in the fold. Okay, second, we had Judge Cannon this week kind of return perhaps to the bizarro version that we saw when she first came onto the national stage, as someone whom Trump was able to successfully importune to parachute into the case completely improperly, and delay things. This was at the search warrant stage. Why do I say she's maybe returned to form? Because she issued an order out of nowhere, saying, "I want to hear justification for why there's apparently still continues to be investigation in another grand jury." which some of the papers revealed of related crimes. Well, the reason is, I mean, first of all, saying this reveals the existence of a grand jury, which are supposed to be secret and in and of itself. So that should have been sealed, and that's what is she thinking? And then what is she thinking too? There's no problem with, you can't investigate the same crime that's been indicted, and once the grand jury has issued an indictment, now you're on to a different stage. But grand juries have here all the time will investigate different crimes against it could be the same people, related or not. So the idea that she would on her own kind of raise this point that seems really to be if not routine, at least nothing to be suspicious about, gave, I think, people a little bit of are we is bad Judge Cannon back on the scene. Of course, recall that in her first misadventure, she wound up being reversed twice, and you could think of that as sort of two strikes against her. So the Department of Justice could decide it would be a roll of the dice and confrontational to appeal a suspect ruling, take her up, and it would combine it with a motion for recusal, where they would also bring into the record and the consideration of the Court of Appeals the previous really sort of colossal blunders that she committed in this search warrant part of the case. Okay, so Mar-a-Lago, the last few days, you have De Oliveira in the fold and looking to delay a bit. The magistrate pushing back and saying, let's have you please do this on Tuesday. And Judge Aileen Cannon may be going wacky a bit on us, we'll know soon, but raising something out of the blue as if it's very suspicious when it really shouldn't be. So that drama continues, even as all eyes today were focused on January 6th and Judge Chutkan, which I've told you about in a separate YouTube. Hope you'll continue to tune in. Until next time, talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.